Today, we're going on a global adventure through potatoes. From its origins in the Andes to your favorite fries, we're exploring the history of potatoes and making 5 delicious dishes from 5 different countries. Our journey begins in Peru, the birthplace of the potato. Over 7,000 years ago, the Inca Empire in modern-day Peru and Bolivia domesticated the crop. They grew over 4,000 varieties in the Andes Mountains, using them as a staple food and even developing techniques like freeze-drying to preserve them. But how did potatoes leave Peru and spread across the world? Well, that's thanks to the Spanish conquistadors. When they conquered the Inca Empire in the 16th century, they brought potatoes back to Europe. At first, Europeans were suspicious of this strange new crop, but it eventually became a global sensation. Today, one of Peru's most iconic potato dishes is Causa limeña, a layered potato dish filled with avocado, chicken, or seafood. It's creamy, flavorful, and a perfect representation of how Peruvians celebrate their potato heritage. To make Causa limeña, we'll mash yellow potatoes with lime, chili, and oil, then layer it with fillings. It's like a potato cake, but with a Peruvian twist. Did you know the word potato comes from the Spanish word patata, which itself comes from the Quechua word papa, the language of the Inca Empire? Next, we're heading to Belgium, the home of fries. Did you think fries were French? Well, there's a heated debate about that. While the French popularized fries, many historians believe they originated in Belgium, where villagers along the Meuse River fried small fish. When the river froze in winter, they swapped fish for potatoes, cutting them into fish-like shapes and frying them. But how did potatoes get to Belgium in the first place? After the Spanish brought potatoes to Europe in the 16th century, they slowly spread across the continent. By the 17th century, potatoes had reached Belgium, where they became a staple crop. To make authentic Belgian fries, we will double fry them in beef tallow. First, at a lower temperature to cook the inside, then at a higher temperature to make them crispy. Serve them with mayo, and you've got a classic Belgian snack. Belgium even has a friet museum, a museum dedicated to fries. And funnily enough, the term French fries might have come from American soldiers in World War I who thought they were in France when they first tried them in Belgium. Next stop, Ireland. Potatoes arrived in Ireland in the late 16th century, brought by English explorers who had encountered them in South America. The Irish climate was perfect for growing potatoes, and they quickly became a dietary staple. By the 19th century, the Irish were so dependent on potatoes that the Great Famine, caused by potato blight, devastated the population. But potatoes remain a symbol of resilience in Irish cuisine. One classic dish is Boxty, a potato pancake made with grated and mashed potatoes. To make Boxty, we'll mix grated potatoes with mashed potatoes, flour, and buttermilk. Then fry them until golden. It's crispy on the outside, soft on the inside, and absolutely delicious with a dollop of butter or an egg. There's even an Irish rhyme about Boxty. Boxty on the griddle, Boxty in the pan. If you can't make Boxty, you'll never get a man. Now, let's travel to India, where potatoes are a staple in countless dishes. Potatoes arrived in India in the 17th century, thanks to Portuguese traders. The Portuguese, who had colonies in South America, brought potatoes to their trading posts in India, where they quickly became a key ingredient in Indian cuisine. One of my favorites is Aloo Matar, a comforting curry made with potatoes and peas. It's spiced with turmeric, cumin, and garam masala, and it's perfect with rice or flatbread. We'll sauté the spices, add diced potatoes and peas, and let it simmer until everything's tender and flavorful. It's simple, hearty, and absolutely delicious. India is now the second largest producer of potatoes in the world, after China. And funnily enough, potatoes are so beloved in India that they are even used in desserts like aloo ka. Finally, we are heading to China. Regular potatoes also arrived in China in the 17th century through European traders. However, sweet potatoes took a slightly different route. They were introduced to China in the late 16th century via the Philippines, brought by Spanish traders. Unlike regular potatoes, sweet potatoes thrived in China's warmer climates and became a lifesaver during famines. Today, one of the most fun and delicious sweet potato dishes is 拔丝地瓜, a crispy, caramelized sweet potato dessert that creates threads of sugar when you pull it apart. We'll fry the sweet potatoes, then coat them in a hot sugar syrup. The trick is to pull them apart quickly to create those beautiful threads. It's sticky, sweet, and so much fun to eat. Sweet potatoes are so important in China that they're sometimes called the poor man's food because they've saved so many lives during tough times. And there you have it. 5 countries, 5 dishes, and one incredible journey through the history of potatoes. From the Andes to your plate, this humble tuber has shaped cultures, fed nations, and inspired some of the most delicious dishes in the world.